Okay. Once more, welcome to the session we have for tonight, where we're going to be talking about test plan, talk about test scenario and test cases. They all testing the system we've just implemented. So, but before then, you need to plan for it. You need to create a test plan. Everything needs to be ready before the configuration. So that is why we have to create it. And you must be hearing about testers. We hear about the quality, shop QA, quality assurance. If there is a QA, it's the duty of the QA to plan for the testing. But business analysis or business analyst is so elaborate. Your role is so big that you can do anything. You can do it. So if there is no, which that's the case most of the time, we will have a business, we will have a dedicated tester, a dedicated quality assurance. So you are the BA, is your duty to plan for the testing. So you must know how to create a test plan. You know how to create test cases, test scenarios, get it ready for testing immediately after the building of the system, configuration, customization. It needs to be tested. We test it to validate the completeness, making sure that, yes, this is what we planned and it comes out the way we want it, and we're happy. So if it's after the testing and it's not coming out as expected, then it becomes a problem for us. So, and that's why we need that. Okay, just a moment. Okay, if you guys remember our product backlog, if you remember the template I shared with you, following up, there's a place we captured a test case as part of it. So we are going to have a look at it as well for you to see how you plan your work, getting it ready for action. Okay, let me start sharing my screen so we see how all this works, and we'll see how a live test cases and how a test plan should be before the project, before you start the configuration. You need all these planned out at the planning stage, which is solution design, planning, or you can call it define stage. We already know about that. Yeah. So I'm sharing my screen, so it's going to pop up very soon. Okay. If you are not seeing my screen, then you have a network problem because it's showing very well now. So what is a test plan? Let's start from there. The test plan is a formal document outlining the strategy, resources, and schedule for testing activities. It acts as a blueprint to guide the testing team and ensure all aspects of the system are thoroughly validated. Like I said earlier, the purpose is to validate the system, making that everything is working well. Then you have test scenarios. A test scenario is a high-level description of what needs to be tested. It represents a particular functionality or feature from the end user's point of view. So it's a scenario, it's a high level of the feature that need to be tested. And then you come and break down it again, we'll have test cases. So within the test cases, you remember all the user stories. What can be achieved from end user perspective, or how to use the system from the end user perspective. So you need to test all the small features called user stories. So a test case is a specific set of inputs, execution step, and expected outcome designed to verify particular functionalities of the system. All these small functionalities, we need to test them. Like if we design this, all these small, if you look at, I normally use this as an illustration. All these small functionalities we captured here, like all these are all these are functions. If they perform one or two functions, they are not here for beautification. They are meant to perform action. So we have a specific test designed to validate every of these. You see, we are meant to download this document in Microsoft Word. We are equally meant to download it in open document format. You can equally download it in rich text format, PDF, plain text, web page, and so on and so forth. So they are meant for specific purpose. They capture all of them because they know there's people using them in this different format. So when you finish, you need to test all of them to make sure that they are working. You need to download it in PDF. You need to download it. If you click download in PDF and you couldn't download anything on PDF, then it means that there is an error. You say I click and now we have downloaded in this particular here in plain text. It's equally downloaded in PDF. I can download that, so meaning that this is working as expected. But once I click download in PDF and I couldn't download it, it means it's not working. So test cases is designed to validate all these small features. So key components of test plan. If we are planning to create a test plan, so these are things that need to be captured, key items that need to be captured. Objective, the goal of the testing efforts. Scope, features and functionalities to be tested. Test environment, hardware, software, and tools required for testing. Test strategy, approach for testing. Is it going to be manual or is it going to be automated? Testing type. We have functional, we have non-functional, we have regression, we have performance, etc. We have different types. So you have to state the type of testing, type that's going to be used. Functional testing is mainly when we're testing the functionalities. Then we have some other testing for non-functionalities like speed, performance of a system. You can't see it, but you cannot see the speed, but it's there, you can feel it. Regression testing. What is regression testing? After the initial testing and the testing failed, then whatever is the cause of the failure need to be, it might be an error in the coding, we call it bug. So we go and do what we call debugging. And after debugging, it means fixing the error. And then it's working, we will have to test it again before we can say yes, it's validated. So we call it regression testing and performance testing. How is the system performing? We have a set of metrics to measure this performance. So these are types of testing. You need to state which one during the testing. Then schedule, timeline for testing phases. You need to state it cannot be forever. So you need to state, is it 2 weeks? Is it 1 week? Is it 1 day? Resources for the testing. There's a testing team members and tools. Risk and mitigation. You need to capture challenges and strategies to address them during the testing. Once you have all these key items captured in your test plan, I don't see the reason why you wouldn't have a good testing experience, because your plan is very detailed. Then we look at test scenarios. What are the components of a test scenario? A test scenario must have a scenario ID, a unique identifier, that is a unique identifier for the scenario. Description, a high-level overview of the functionality to be tested. Dependencies, requirement for the scenario such as user, role, or data required. And priority, how important every test scenario, importance of the scenarios. You need to show, is it high, is it medium, is it low, so we know where to start our testing efforts or testing activity. And then the main activity during the testing is the test cases. That's where the main activity starts. So what are the components of a test case? A test case must have a test ID, a unique identifier for each test case. Test description, a summary of what the test case will verify. Every test case needs to verify something. You need to verify that that particular functionality or that little code performs the function required. Precondition, requirements or setup needed before the executing a test. Yes, you want to conduct a test, but that test needs to be conducted within an environment. That is the precondition. What are the environments that need to be in place before a test can be conducted? Then you have step-by-step test steps. You need to create step-by-step. Whoever is going to carry out the test, of course, when you want to create a test like UAT, user acceptance test, you need to bring someone outside the team to carry out the test. So you must create a step-by-step the person needs to follow to carry out the test. And expected result. Before you start any test, you must have expected what you want to see. So that is what you are testing against, that expected result. If by any chance that expected result, you do not see the expected result, then it means that that particular functionality you are testing is a failure. You must demonstrate that particular result you are expecting. And then that is, you have to capture expected results. Then actual result. If the actual result matches the expected result, then pass. If the actual result differs from the expected result, fail. So that is it. And the status. So within the status, at the end of the testing, you record whether it's a pass or a fail, or even if the test effort, test activity is blocked. So you need to capture exactly what happened after the test. Okay, let's look at templates you are going to use for your own. If you are working with Google tomorrow, and you find yourself creating a test plan, don't say that Mr. Charles didn't give us a template. We didn't know how to do it. Every of my lesson comes with a template. So if you are looking for a dedicated template, you already have it. So that's why I try as much as I can to give out my note, because it's a valuable document, not just for learning, but that can help you as you are going out to the market to work. So let's look at the test plan for Dynamics 365 ERP Business Central. Here is very, very simple, but is top-notch. Here, the components of this test plan will have an objective, have a scope, we'll have a test environment, we'll have a test strategy, we'll have a test type, schedule, resource, and risk and mitigation. You see, we use this, our component. You see here, we just adapt this to this, our test plan here, and it's looking good. So the objective here is to validate the functionality of Dynamics 365 ERP Business Central Finance module. And the scope here, we are focusing on account payable, account receivable, and general ledger. That is the scope of this test. And test environment, we're going to carry out this test in Windows Server. Windows Server, and then Dynamics 365 Business Central with SQL database. And then test strategy is going to be manual. So, or we're not, if you want to do automated using Selenium, so, and Jira, that's for automated. But the test strategy we are going to use is manual. Then testing type, we're going to conduct functional testing. We're going to equally capture regressional testing and equally integration testing. And then test schedule, this is going to be 3 weeks activity, 1 week per a module. And then resource for this testing, we have 2 testers, 1 test manager and 1 business analyst. And risk and mitigation, data inconsistency, and to address that, we're going to use a sample data for the testing. And that's it. That is a test plan. That's a comprehensive plan we have here. Sorry. If you do not understand this plan, then so it's a very simple, straightforward plan. Then test scenario, example of a test scenario. This is a template. If you don't know If you struggle to do it, you know this can serve as a template for test scenario, and test scenario for D365 ERP Business Central. And we'll have scenario ID. We'll have three scenario ID: scenario 01, 002, and 003. And number one is test login functionality for all users. And dependencies here is user account setup, priority high. Scenario 2, validate invoice creation in account payable. Dependency, sample vendor data uploaded, and priority high. And scenario 3, ensure payment posting to the correct ledger, and dependency, integration with bank accounts. For this to happen, it must be well integrated with a bank account. And the priority is medium. So this is how a test scenario is going to look. And then you break it down to the final phase, which is going to be the main testing, the test cases for Dynamics 365 Business Central. And you have TC1, that is TC mean test case 1, test case 2, test case 3. So these are test cases here. So, and in each of the test cases here, you have the description, we'll have the precondition, we'll have test step executed, expected result, actual result, and status. So I hope we're following. Okay. Then let's look at this test case 1, verify login with valid credential. You want to log into Dynamics 365 ERP Business Central after the configuration. And here, user account setup. Precondition is that whichever a user that needs to log in must have an account setup. That's the precondition. And test step. You state step by step on how to carry out this test. First, you are telling this is instruction you are giving to the user who is going to perform this test. The user is not supposed to be a business analyst or a tester or even part of the team. So it's a user, somebody who is going to be using the system. So you tell the person navigate to login page, enter valid username and password, and click login. Expected results redirected to a dashboard, just like the way you log into normal everyday application, just like the way you log into our course portal. So it's expected that once you go, for instance, just like this one, you go to our course portal, you put your username and the password, you get redirected to your dashboard or account dashboard. So, and that's it. So that is the expected and actual results here as expected. Once you do that, you are, so once you perform this and it's as expected, you pass. But if you try to, if you log in, click login, and it's giving you an error message, then some of you start shouting, Mr. Charles, I can't access my account. So that's it. That is a test. It's practical. It's not, it's practical. Someone needs to come and perform that practical. Once it's happened and as expected, pass. If it doesn't, as expected, you fail. Just like that, the second, validate invoice creation in account payable, vendor data uploaded. That's precondition. A vendor data must be uploaded. And for that, you navigate to account payable, select create invoice, enter invoice detail, and submit the invoice. And once you do that, click submit the invoice. Invoice is created successfully. If it happened as expected, if invoice is created successfully, then you pass. If there is a variation from this, you fail. And the same thing, ensure payment posting to correct ledger. Before that can before that can take place, the bank account must be integrated. So bank integration completed. You navigate to payment, select transaction, confirm the payment, check ledger, general ledger for posting. Payment is posted under correct ledger, but issue is found. You posted it, but it couldn't post to the correct ledger as expected, then you fail. So these are how a test case should be, and this is how a test scenario should be, and this is how a test plan should be. So exactly like this. So, and that's it. So, and best practice for this, when creating a test case or test plan or test scenario, you must involve stakeholders. It's a collaborative effort. Even if you created it in isolation, it must be validated before the testing activity. Be specific. Use clear and concise language in testing, because you know during the testing you are going to involve users who are not technical, non-technical stakeholders. So you try to use simple business language. Don't use so much technical language, because the users might not understand. You are not dealing with developers alone at this point. And the users are going to be involved, and so many of them do not understand all these technicalities. So that's why you have to use clear languages. And the prioritize your work. Like that's why make sure that the most important are being captured. And create a test case that can be reusable test cases. You know, create reusable test cases for your current functionalities. If you look at something I've created here, is kind of reusable. It's easy. Once we are working within ERP system, you find out that these test cases here can be reused in so many ERP environments. It's reusable. There is a bit of just tweaking or by not even so. It will save you the labor. If you are working within CRM system, we can create usable test cases as well. And this is an example, live example, where the one you can, this one I'll be talking from the notes, but like if you want to really want to work in your work environments, just like this project, this is something you can use, something like this. If you look at this kind of test case, looking at this, you see this is test cases. See test case 1, test case 2, test case 3, and as many as you can capture. So, but every item here, you see, every item here, all the user stories here, created here, I captured a test case against all of them. So they need to be tested. So for instance, here, you see TC1 creates a new lead. So here, this is description. This is the environment. This is the precondition. This is the expected results. And this is if it fails or pass, you select it here. So that's it. If you want to do that, log in as a sales representative. That's the step-by-step and description together. Navigate to creation, to lead creation. If you log in, you will see lead creation there. After the configuration and customization, if we should be able to see this. And the test environment must be in a CRM test environment. Precondition user is logged in as a sales representative. So you must have an account as a user, as a sales representative, and then log in. That is, if you don't log in, you cannot carry. So this is expected. And expected result, a new lead is created successfully. If this happens, create a new lead successfully, you come over here and you select pass. If you didn't create, you receive an error message when you want to create, you fail. This will show the developers that, yeah, they need to go fix this. And every of them you create, so at the end of the activity, you see how many features that pass and fail, and they give developers and the stakeholders insight of what is done, what people have achieved, and little that need to be still fixed. And that's it. So this is a test case. That is live test case. This is not your lesson notes. This can be used, and that's it. So by now we have this. I shared this template with you guys long ago, so there is no need of asking where do I get it, because you already have it. And that is the end of my story. Is my story sweet? All right. If you have question, you can come with your question. Okay. Elizabeth.
I'll need this document.
Sorry, I didn't know my hands were still up. It was earlier that I put up my hands. But you just mentioned now that you shared this document with us. Is it in the portal or on the WhatsApp group, sir?
Long ago, we've had this product backlog lesson. The time we had a product backlog lesson, I shared it. So it comes with this test case. So I join it together. So if you have this backlog, you see this as well. So it's together. And for the sake of me being Ezbo Mado, I'll download it.
Thank you, sir, for being Ezbo Mado. We appreciate your Ezbo Mado. Thank you.
And you too need to be Ezbo Mado, you know. You have to enjoy my Ezbo Madism. You can't be enjoying my Ezbo Madism and you are not so.
But I'm learning from you. That's why you're my coach.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
no worries. So let me upload it to this I'll upload it to this our so you can download it from there from our WhatsApp
The
group,
portal?
general
The
WhatsApp.
portal?
Are you hearing me?
Yes, boss. Did you say you download it in the portal or upload it
I said
rather in the
I'm going to upload it to WhatsApp group so that
Oh,
even before the portal you can already have you have access to it
thank you, sir.
immediately after this lesson. So you can keep it
And own
in
it.
your you can put it under your pillow. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So okay. Okay, you can check your WhatsApp group is there now for anyone who wants to download it immediately.
Thank you, sir.
This document is everything you need for your project and outside your project. It's evergreen. This document, this product backlog is evergreen for someone who wants to be a good business analyst. You need to have it. You know, we share a lot of things. What we share here is way bigger. The resources here is way above this bootcamp. So we have a lot of resources here. As a matter of fact,
Especially a boot camp.
the resources is the you. If you have good resources, that's who you are. That's it. You know these lawyers, big lawyers, what they pride themselves, they are this and that is if you go to their library, you see law book, you know. It's just like you, if you're a business analyst, you don't have all these templates, you can consult, you can fall back on project manager, all this document, that's what makes you. So we'll discuss about story points. If you read your notes, you go and rewatch it, it's there. Well, I'm not answer. There's some question I'm not going to be answering. So we talk about story points long ago. If you didn't, if you miss a class, watch the video. So everything here, all the items here, I talk about all of them. We've spoken about all of them. So we miss class and we don't rewatch or we don't. So many of us were just waiting to strike the market. That is what is in our mind, to start making the money without having to prepare ourselves very well. Every item captured in my notes, I must have spoken about it. So you can ask any of your team. You say that this man self, the amount of time we used to talk with that this, yes, that is how I do, you know, so that you take your time and go read it up. So any question based on our test cases, test plan, test scenario, that's where I'm interested. Because tomorrow someone will come again and start asking me what is test ID. Yeah, and I'll tell you go and watch this video or read this note because it's captured. All right. Thank you. And by now we should be accelerating in your project. Acceleration, because I'm keep giving you the answer, boom, boom. I set an exam for you and I'll give you the expo. This is an exam for you people. So if you know, be serious about it. If you are thinking for any other thing that will happen, that is the exam. If you fail, you're on your own. So thank you everyone and see you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, boss.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you, Mr. Charles, for your efforts.
Thank you for all the templates too.
Thank you for not reading your notes.
Boss, what are you thinking? What are you thinking, please?
All of you that are not reading your notes and not watching the videos after the.
But you're also watching the videos. Remember, I was the one that raised the issue of not seeing some notes. If I was also watching the videos, I would not have noticed that there are no notes in